Now I will finish this battle. First by going to slaying the Ivory King. The one who went to Old Chaos. By this and following the request of that lady, I am going to go and fight him. And I know I will not. There is no cowardice in asking for help. And the Knights of Elium Lois are there to support my quest. The Old Chaos. Huge tree-like structures and nothing but lava and some kind of plain above. And it's a quite big battle. Perhaps I'd say it's the biggest battle of the entire game. And with also a very grand battlefield. And before I even can face Ivory King himself, yes, it must be a male as it's a king. I must fight against these mindless charred Elium Knights. Charred Lois Knights. I have normal Lois Knights, those who have not gone insane or followed the king to this battlefield of bleakness, or they say not bleakness, intense heat and destruction, which by the way its name and general style of Roots and Fire is a throwback to... I can't remember the place. Is Izalith of the Dark Souls 1. And what was that? Big doorway opens up, shows up. And with Bridge of Fire shows up the Ivory King himself, with sword and armor and crown on his head. That is the frightening king. And he also manages to bring some aid. But luckily it's quite much of a... It becomes a battle of attrition, but hell, every boss fight in Dark Souls is a battle of attrition or a battle of figuring out the trick. But in these kind of DLC bosses, it's very noticeable, this battle of attrition part. Take some fire. Oops, that was a blast. Now he's powered up his sword. But luckily the Lois Knights are sucking up damage quite well and also delivering some of it, but mostly just taking it. Yeah, that's impressive attack on visuals, but not so scary on actual happenings. Of course, taking him a one-on-one would be very dangerous and foolish. And in these kind of bosses, you really want to do actually keep your health up. but as up as you want. Mostly because tanking in Dark Souls isn't so viable tactic. I'd say it becomes less and less plausible the further you go with game cycles and games themselves. Dark Souls 3, which of course becomes next. It's something that in that game the armor is just practically just a cosmetic thing. Old Ivory King has been slain. And I will aid show my appreciation to those who aided me. So it is time to grasp the final crown of the Ivory King. And perhaps now it is time to go and say hello to the lady up the stairs. And it's gonna take a short while. I have now slain the Ivory King, so let me have a chat with her.
You've granted my one wish. Now I have no regrets. I was born amidst the dark. Long ago, in the depths of the abyss, my father perished.
So she is child of dark.
The dark shattered into tiny pieces, one of which was me. How frightened I was. A frail thing, born from but a splinter of dark. I felt that I might simply disappear. I am, in fact, the incarnation of my father's fears.
So, children of dark are some kind of emotional aspects of Father of Abyss.
I sought him only to sustain myself, to smother my fears. Now, I realize that he may have known all along. I was born of fear, and my Lord provided comfort.
That's actually quite
And so
beautiful.
here I remain, heiress to my Lord's wishes, watching over chaos. Until the end of time.
But that is very sad.
The knights of Aleum voice were swallowed by the chaos.
I know, I faced them. But I got their souls.
Still remain.
I have gained them.
I pray for their deliverance. I sense a night's joyous elation. Kind visitor, please accept my gratitude.
Does she? Oh yes, she gave me stuff.
Kind.
And apparently giving her these souls opens up a pathway.
I sense a kind. I sense close.
Apparently now the path is opened. So let us go and have a chat with her up close and personal. See what she looks like. What she is. Child of Dark. Very sad, lonely looking female figure who did not even look at me and has no clothing. And that nudity actually is meant to emphasize her weakness and frailty.
Kind visitor, I am not the only being born of dark.
Yes, I am
face
aware.
hardship like no other. Take this. My sisters are as a thick dark, their lust for souls insatiable. May you find the will to resist their desires.
And she gave me her soul.
Go on, kind visitor. May you reach your journey's end one day.
I will place the sun in front of darkness. That must be some sort of paradox. Sun in darkness. But now I have gained the crowns of 4 old kings and King's crown itself. It is time to go and say hello to King. I am facing the King's back mostly. Now I wish to have a chat with him. He is very bleak looking man.
Seeker of fire, conqueror of dark. I too sought fire once. With fire, they say, a true king can harness the curse. A lie.
But maybe that means something like the first flame, and that Drung Lake is not the land where the killing of the first flame can be reached.
The more flame you covet. Flame, oh, flame. Seeker of fire, I see you've subdued another foul creature. One of the father of the abyss spawn. That confounded quintessence of humanity. The abyss once had form, but then dissipated.
Yes, it was called Manus.
Traces of its existence endured.
Indeed, for it is something like a...
Thirsting for power, spread dark with no relent. My dear Chandra was one such fragment.
So Queen Nashandra
Tiny thing, but
is a child of dark.
more than any other.
And it,
By insatiable lust for a worthy vessel.
and it was probably the weak.
One day fire will fade, and dark will become a curse.
That is the cycle.
Will be free from death, left to wander eternally.
The curse.
Will again be ours, and in our true shape,
So who is the Lord of
we
Dark?
can bury the false legends of yore. Only, is this our only choice? Seeker of fire, coveter of the throne. Seek strength.
Now the crown. Or would I say the crowns gain power? They are gathering them all. I have become true king.
Will follow.
Seek strength. Rest will follow. Oh, I have once again returned to Undecked Crypt. The crowns have gained the power for which in gameplay wise means the bearer of the curse has no more curse, and there is no more memory of King either. Perhaps that was the last memory he ever remembered before coming hollow. But there's only one more place to go, which is returning to throne. It is time to go and claim the throne. And like any other great kings, or just kings about to show up, I am wearer of the curse, wears an impressive looking armor and an intimidating crown, just to make sure that, yes. And here is the whoever she was.
My journey is already complete. My name is Shanalot. The dragon gave me this name, for I was born with none. I was born of dragons, contrived by men. By ones who would cozen fate herself. They are the ones who created me.
So...
But they failed. I did not come out as intended. Fate would not be bested, and men were cursed once again.
So, what is she?
Chandra will come after you.
I will.
Knowing that you will take the throne and link the fire. She covets the first flame and the great soul. Put Lysandra to rest.
Well, knowing that Mendrick thought that Nashandra was a painful, pitiful soul coveting for power, I don't think there's anything else there can be done except that. So it is now time as a king to take the throne. And bearer of the curse is not also king with a brain of a duck. He's a real conqueror of all kinds of kingdoms, realms, and destruct matters. He slays beasts. He has killed an old king to prove his worth. He has slain powerful dragons or powerful things. Oh yes, there is actually no way for him not to be a horrifyingly strong and dangerous badass. So time to summon aid. Just because there must be witnesses for the ascension of the throne. And like many kings, and like those who are marked, the bearer of the curse has red eyes and a mark on his forehead. And there she is, just waiting to get to the throne.
Brave undead. You have proven yourself to me.
And she still wears her crown. But why she came there? Is it some sort of power hunger she was here or something? But I guess she is the fifth child of Dark. And the second one who actually got to dealt with King directly. You are big and intimidating, but I am not intimidated by you. Scythe. And of course, being a child of Dark, she can deliver curses and also uses dark magics. But my authority as true king makes me invincible to your curse. Although they don't make me invincible to your dark magics. So I have no reason to But this is how Dashandra shall be defeated. She is actually quite... For a final boss, she's in a sense pretty... not unimpressive for a final boss, especially for a Dark Souls game, where this is just... there's just 3 Dark Souls game and she's in the second one, so of course she is different from final boss of Dark Souls 1, which was fire-based sword-wielding man. She is dark-based scythe-wielding woman with magics. And she goes down and I take her soul.
Many monarchs have come and gone.
Aldia? What the fuck are you here?
Drowned in poison.
Sunken King, Old Iron King,
Slumbers in the realm of
and the Ivory King, but nope.
as you do now. You, conqueror of adversities. Give us your answer.
Who is we? So, apparently Aldia himself decides to shows up. And he is fire-based. Giving some sort of throwback to Dark Souls 1, which had a fire-based end boss. But Aldia is actually quite dull boss. That's what he does. He just shows up, does whatever move he does. Well, his most perilous thing is the fact that he can endure about as horrifyingly damage as you can think. He's tough. And the fact that he burns makes it even more difficult to give damage to him, as he just, if you get too close to him, he burns you. You'll take damage, which in a sense feels a bit of sloppy. And he was not in original, just basic Dark Souls 2. He was brought into Dark Souls Scholar of the First Sin as the titular scholar. Yeah. But this piano piece actually is very pleasant, nice soothing music. But this is how you fight him. You just wait for him to show up, try to swipe in some attacks before he gets to burn. Then you jump away from once he is burning, and once he is burning, once he burns, you just try to stay away, and as he's burning, he just soaks up damage like, well, hard to say what, because he is immensely not strong. Strong means it would be dangerous, aggressive and ferocious to attack. He is more like just a... he's just a bloody enduring. Like enduring beyond reason. Because his attacks are... well, those fireball attacks he delivers are the scariest one, and the fact that he burns. Those are his scariest attacks. Those reboot attacks, not too intimidating. Whoops! That shit you dodged you all. Failed. As you can see, the basic great heavy soul arrow doesn't... It practically gives him a scratch. Once again, he's bringing out the fireballs. Missed, 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 and missed. Come on! Too close. Whoops! 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 Die! You are slain. And thus the true final boss of Dark Souls got vanquished.
Patiently. The throne will certainly receive you. But the question remains. Would you tell me? Light, dark, or something else entirely?
Indeed. Finally there was just two options. Become the one who has the authority to decide between light and darkness, and that is task of the king, or you can just turn away from it. Which means to say you might try to find another path to two unpleasant choices, but is taking a third choice or not choosing a choice? And with that question ends Dark Souls 2.